Hey buddies, Mr. Pugly here, coming at you with another Elden Ring video. Today I want to show you the top 5 talismans that you can use on any build to increase your total damage output. Now this is not going to be in any particular order, so the first item I show is not going to be better than the last item I show. That's going to be up on preference. And I did switch my camera over to the top right of the screen, so tell me how you guys like that for Elden Ring videos. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch on the top right. You have no idea how much helps me out. And let's get into the video.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
Now, due to the fact how certain items are very similar to each other, I'm going to have certain items that are going to be exactly on the same placement. For example, the Lord of Blood Talisman is also going to be in the same spot as the Kindred of Rot Talisman, due to the fact that they basically do the same thing. They give you 20% increased attack power upon proccing it with its certain effect. The Lord of Blood is blood loss, while the Rot is going to be rot and poisoned. Now, some would argue that the Lord of Blood is a lot easier to proc because you can easily just equip any katana and then activate this Art of War, which everyone is familiar with, activating blood loss, which also activates the talisman for 20 seconds. Now, if you wanted to use the Kindred of Rot, all you need to do is just eat a raw meat dumpling, and then you're going to poison yourself, which isn't as bad as rot. So if you want to proc the rot one, you can do that. But I personally find just holding a katana of any kind and just activating that Art of War is much easier to do since it's so accessible with a lot of items. Now, 20% extra damage doesn't really sound that powerful, but let me show you the difference in power it actually gives you. So I'm just going to run over to this giant and apply my swinging or spinning weapon, I should say, and you'll see that it doesn't actually kill him. But if I were to reset the enemies, activate the talisman, and then go attack the actual giant, you'll see I'll be able to kill him in one cast of my Art of War with spinning weapon, as opposed to not being able to kill him. So you'll see around 3,000 or higher after we're done hitting him. So 3,436, which is around 600 more total damage, which is a significant increase in damage. There's no reason not to use this on most builds. Now for PvP, you might be saying that it's kind of hard to apply this due to the fact that you need prep, but the poison one is a lot quicker to apply if you so wish to use it on PvP. Or if you're just running a blood build, like a lot of people like to do in the game, you could just apply bleed to your target and then have this buff. Now, the next item on the list is going to be the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, as well as its counterpart that increases dexterity for a little bit less total attack power. So with successive attacks, you're going to see your damage increase, which is very, very good on certain bosses and on a lot of builds because a lot of attacks allow you to hit very quickly. This applies for spells, Art of Wars, regular swinging. So if I were to swing at a target using spinning weapon, each attack is going to buff my total attack, which is excellent. It's going to have 3 total stacks, while the Rotten Wing total attack power that it grants is going to be 13%, while this one is only going to be 11%. And to get full stacks with these items, all you have to do is hit 3 times, which is very easy to do with a lot of spells and a lot of melee and stuff like that. So these are 2 very easy talismans you can use on any build. And what's really nice about these 2 weapons is that these 2 actually stack. So if you were to stack these properly, you would get a total of 24% more attack power, which is excellent. Now, next item you can use on any build is easily going to be the Shard of Alexander. The reason for this is a lot of builds like to use Art of Wars as their primary attacker or their big damage dealer, and the Shard of Alexander is going to boost your Art of Wars by a total 15%, which is excellent. It's a no-brainer why this one is so powerful, but let me show you a side-by-side comparison of the total damage I can do against this giant with and without using this talisman. First, I'm going to show it without the talisman. We got around 2,500 damage right there, and now I'm going to show with the talisman, and you can see right there we got around 2,894, which is around 300 more total damage, which is an excellent total damage boost for your DPS on pretty much any build. I can't think of a lot of meta builds that don't use Art of Wars as their primary way of attacking or big damage dealers, or even just a way to catch an enemy off guard and maybe deal some cheese damage. So it's very easy to see why the Shard of Alexander is very useful on all types of builds. The next item is actually going to be 4 items because they basically do the same thing except have different elements attached. The Magic Scorpion, the Fire Scorpion, Lightning Scorpion, and the Sacred Scorpion. Obviously for Magic, Fire, Lightning, and Holy. The only caveat is that you're going to take increased total damage, which isn't really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, because the faster you kill the target, the less damage they're going to deal to you. These don't really need much of a further explanation. I could show the damage difference between using it and not using it, but I feel by now you guys are probably tired of seeing that over and over and over. So these are just good to use on most builds, especially the Magic Scorpion, because it's very easy to use magic attacks. There's tons of magic attacks in this game. And then next I'm just going to talk about a few honorable mentions. One is going to be the Bull Goat's Talisman. This increases poise, which allows you to get some hits in before they stagger you, which obviously is very good in a lot of settings, including PvP. We got the Green Turtle Talisman, Erdtree's Favor, and the Amber Medallion. All 3 of these increase your regeneration for FP or stamina. Turtle and Erdtree obviously is for stamina, while the Amber Medallion is for FP. The reason why these are important is because they're going to give you more chances at casting or attacking, which means you're going to have a more total DPS increase on a damage window when you're attacking, or you'll have less times in between recovery so you can attack faster. It's basically going to increase your total DPS on your build, because if you're doing like say like a 20-second DPS check, you'd be able to either attack faster, have less of a recovery window between the attacks to allow you to get more DPS, if that makes sense. Last honorable mention is the Radagon icon. The reason for this is very easy to understand. It shortens spells casting time. This includes incantation and sorceries. You should be seeing a clip of me casting some incantation and sorceries with and without this talisman, and the difference is pretty large. I believe this item gives you the speed of equivalent of putting 30 dex on your character, so keep that in mind. It is invaluable to use. You can see that I'm already probably done casting on the right side of the screen as opposed to the left side of the screen. It's very valuable to use. Make sure to get this if you're using any type of casting build. And the final talisman you can pretty much use on any build is going to be the Radagon's or the Marika's seal, that pretty much just rises your attributes but allows you to basically take increased damage. You should be seeing the difference in total damage that you can take on the screen right now with the actual seal and without. It doesn't really increase your damage taken that much to where it's detrimental, and it increases your total stats of, for example, with Radagon's, it increases your vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity by 5, while the Marika's is going to increase your mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane by 5. These are commonly used, obviously, on all types of builds because how valuable they are. Boosting your total stats by essentially 20 is very valuable in this game, where every single little stat increase matters. So it's a no-brainer on why these are so valuable to use on pretty much any build. And that's going to mark the end of this list. I hope these talismans help you increase your total DPS on the next build that you guys try out. And as always, a big shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We got Jace Noodles, Clairvoyance, Rick Iglesias, Josh Dig, Thunderone Bar 70, Grey Wolf, Wishkeeper, Leska, and Cameron. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month on YouTube or Patreon, and you can also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the comments description or in the top right to become a member. The more members we have, the closer I get to becoming full-time, which means more videos for you guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him out with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.